sexual violence. And this one has to do with, sexual occurrences. So for instance, rape, defilement, or touching someone inappropriately without the person's consent, especially when the person is uncomfortable with it. And then we also have the psychological violence. So this isn't actually physical, and you may not think it's serious, but it's also very serious because it affects your entire being. Okay, so if there's a violence that is targeted at you and it affects your mind, our minds are actually a central organ in whatever we do. Before you can actually even take an action, you need to think about it. And you need your mind to actually take that step to do whatever you want to do. So when you're actually, abused psychologically, it makes you ineffective and inefficient. And you are unable to perform effectively in whatever you want to do. So we have the types of violence. So we have domestic violence. And this violence occurs in our homes or in our surroundings. So you find that we have some females or even males who are being sexually assaulted at home. We have others who are physically assaulted or abused at home. So this is what we call the domestic violence. It happens around you domestically. And we also have the sexual-based violence, like I had already stated earlier. We also have forced marriages. Forced marriages are also a form of violence. Okay, because you're actually forcing someone into a marriage she doesn't want, because in most cases, it has to do with females. So you're forcing someone into a marriage she doesn't want to go into. And mostly you realize this is done to young girls, maybe teenagers. And at that time, you're not mature enough to even get married. Maybe at that time you are focused on your education or some other ambitions you want. But then you are forced into a marriage or to marry someone you know nothing about. So when this happens, you are being, abused. And some of these girls even tend to get abused in these marriages because they get married to men who are much older. So they have this advantage over them. So, it makes them prone to all sorts of violence. And then we also have online violence as well. So in 2020, in South Korea, a group of journalists actually discovered that there was a secret chat room on Telegram. There were about 8 secret chat rooms where thousands of videos of women, they were actually explicit videos. When I say explicit, so let's say naked videos of women that were being sold on this platform using cryptocurrency. So you can imagine what kind of trauma the victims will go through. And this is also an advice to ladies. Please, regardless of what your boyfriend tells you, regardless of what whoever tells you, never send your news to anybody, because it will be used against you in the long run. And that's what happens to these women. So their naked videos and photos are being sold online to their own disadvantage. So it's just, an advice. And the boys, please, stop circulating and stop asking for, pornographic and naked videos of women, okay, and sharing them without their consent. And so I'll move further to the causes of gender-based violence. So one of the causes we have is the unequal distribution of resources and power. Why do I say this? So right now in our society, we realize that we have a specific gender that has power than the other gender. So for instance, you find men, in higher positions than women. And sometimes in situations like these, for instance, if a young woman decides to go look for a job, and then she meets a man who is being so unprofessional, because we have most men who are so professional, they'll never do that. But we have specific men who are so unprofessional that they'll go ahead to ask for sex in return, to employ you. So when that happens, it's actually, violence. So if more women are also given the room to also take up, certain positions as well, I think it also helps minimize this situation. And then we also have poverty. So usually, people who find themselves or people who come from poor homes are prone to sexual violence. So for instance, with the forced marriage I stated earlier, some of these girls are forced because their parents may not have the money to actually take care of their education, of women being raped by some of these people. You hear men being beaten. In fact, the men, I would say, mostly you hear cases of men even being beaten than women. And then you hear cases of women being raped. So all these are actually gender-based. Yeah, so wars and conflicts are also a cause of gender-based violence. And then we also have the breakdown in a way, because the person actually loses, physical fitness, you get ill, you are prone to so many sickness and illness. And so these victims of violence may also commit suicide. There's no way we can ever tackle this issue. So that's also another effect of gender-based violence. And so some of the solutions we can think of. First, we need to sensitize people, like what we are doing here. You are young adults, let me put it that way, and you are those growing up to be adults. And so we have to start from you. And that's why we are giving you this education. Please, know the effects of gender-based. If someone is violating you in any way, if someone is physically abusing you, if someone, first, they are actually shackled mentally. They've experienced for a very long time. So even if you take the person out of the situation, there's a probability that the person will go back again. So first, the person will have to, mentally detach he or himself from that situation. And you should be there to help this person or guide this person. Just speak it to. It's not actually easy, because some people will not listen. You may get fed up at some point. I've actually been in a situation of that sort. I had a friend who went through the same thing. We spoke to her. You talk to her. The next time you go, break up with this person. Don't go to his place of work. Don't do this. So we are pleading to all of you. So let's come together and try to stop gender-based violence. And with the boys as well, specifically, mostly we do not hear, especially with sexual violence, we do not hear from the boys most of the time. And why is that? In our society, there is this perception that as a man, why should you complain? Mostly, they don't expect you to complain about certain things. Pardon? The sponsorship. 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 Thank you so much. So when that happens, some men are not able to speak up. A Facebook post of a man who said he was abused by his house help. So I think by then he was either 12 or 10. Yeah, so he was sexually abused by this person. And he didn't even know he was being abused. So that's why we are telling you, boys, as well, you can also be sexually abused. So you should be aware of this. Any woman who is older, even your colleagues, if a girl is touching you inappropriately, let her know you are uncomfortable with it. Let her stop it. Because you equally have the right to stop her from doing so. So please speak up. Don't just keep quiet, because you are also equally affected by gender-based.
We have our second speaker in our midst, and she's a friend, she's a colleague, she's a woke woman. Yeah, she knows what I'm talking about. And she's called Dr. Jifa Abra Atta. She has over 13 years experience of clinical experience working with children, adolescents, young adults. And some of you mentioned that you want to become a psychologist. I would suggest that you meet her after this. She currently works as a lecturer licensed clinical health from Stellenbosch University, South Africa. She also has a BSc in psychology and an MPhil in clinical psychology, both from the University of Ghana. For her PhD, she conducted a groundbreaking research in a local Ghanaian community. In this piece, she writes about the participants' unsettling stories of sexual abuse, as well as her own experience of sexual harassment during and after the data collection phase of the study. Among other findings, her work sheds light on the cultural expectations of childcare in Ghana, which mandate collective effort to foster and promote healthy child development. As a professional, She seeks to add her voice in the fight against abuse and violence of any form. She has taken a keen interest in trauma and loss and specifically works with vulnerable populations.
They use energy to dance.
Yes.
What? Asopo.
Asopo like this.
Okay. It's coming. It's not. I like your uniform. Oh. It's coming.
Has it come? No, it's connected.
It's still saying no. Maybe it's a connection.
Maybe yes. Science is one.
Okay, let me open my email and then. Oh, hey, you guys, close your eyes. It just needed a little bit of patience. So. Yes. Okay, so good morning to everybody. My name is Jifa Abra Atta. I'm a clinical psychologist and then also a lecturer at the University of Ghana Medical School. So those of you aspiring to be psychologists, you can see me afterwards. I know that by the time I'm done, a lot of you would have changed your career paths. Okay, so we're all here. We are all here clad. All of us are in orange. We are making a statement. Can somebody boldly tell me what the statement is? After all the dancing. We are here to make a statement. Can somebody boldly tell me why you are here today? Oh, I see lawyers, I see doctors, I see people going to presec. Where are the presec boys? So who is ready to speak? Okay, please go ahead. Okay, to be educated on gender-based violence. Does anybody want to add on to that? To your attention that if you already don't know, that as part of this year's celebration and why we are making bold statements, the theme is to unite and to prevent violence against women and girls. Are you ready for that? Are you ready to unite? Are you ready to invest? Are you sure? I hear you. All right, so I'm going to ask you some questions. So what class are you in? All of you are in JHS. 1, 2, 3. 2. So next year there will be elections. Next year there will be elections. If you are the one who has money to finance a campaign, who are you going to invest in? Are you going to invest in Ama or Kofi? So wait. Relax. So those who are ready to invest in Kofi, I want you to stand up. Please, I need some help here. Somebody should count for me. Those who are ready to invest in Kofi. 16. Okay. And all of them are boys. One girl is okay. Okay, it's all boys. It's okay. It's fair. Okay, now please sit. So those who are ready to vote for invest in AMA, please stand. Okay. Relax. Please, we don't want people voting twice. So. 21. And the boys, we had how much? 16. Okay. And please, can I ask, are there any boys who are standing up? Okay, how many boys? 2. Great. All right, sit down. Okay, next year too, we have presidential elections. Please, this is not Muhammad. This is not, no. This is Kokuvi. And then Abna. Wait. So, they are also standing for elections next year. Who will you sponsor? So those who are going to sponsor Kokuvi, can I see you stand? Okay, you would. Okay. So are we saying that the rest are going to vote for Abina? Wait, so let's see. As you are seeing here, you can. Okay, neutral. So let's go English. Okay, let's imagine that this is Harry. Who is going to vote for Harry? He wants to be president. I mean, just look at him. So please stand. If you are voting for him, please stand. Okay. So we have 1 male, 1 female. Okay, and then please sit. Okay, we've changed the name. It's not Abena again. Rose. Who is voting for Rose? Hey, this is how the Ghanaians are going to vote next year. They're undecided. Okay. Okay, so it looks like Rose has small votes. Okay, by a mixture of males and females. Nice, thank you. So sit. Last question. Relax. So we are all going to America from here. You came to the American corner, so we are going to America. Whose plane are you? Relax. Please, can we count this one? Aha. 20, okay. Can we sit? And then those going with the male pilots. Okay. Now, those of you standing, tell me why you want to go with the male pilot and not the female. 2020, Oh, I like that. It would just be nice for us to see a big woman, right, a female in such a position for once. Okay, last contribution, then we go on. Yes. So you go with her. Okay. So very interesting comments, but I want to know why in the beginning, when it came to who you would investing, the numbers were 16 for the females. Okay, so how come you have more confidence in the female to be a prefect versus the male? Is that a true reflection? Is that a true reflection?